Strike by the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association remains in full force. The Ministry of Health earlier convened an emergency closed-door meeting with the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association and other key stakeholders in a bid to resolve the impasse and negotiate improved conditions of service. However, the nurses and midwives are insisting on the strike. We'll be hearing from them pretty shortly, but first, let's hear from some of the patients who have been affected by the strike.
Morning, I am here and I was told that nurses are on strike. I've been here for over 30 minutes and I've seen people come seeking for medical attention and they are being turned away. As a matter of fact, I was here, a lady is in labor, nurses are not around. This lady in pain has to go back because our nurses are on strike.
My problem is they have not taken my vitals, so I'm still worried about that. But sometimes that one is also important, to take the vitals of the person before you know what you can arrange for him. But they have not taken my vitals. So that is why I'm very, very worried about it. So we are going home. We are going home? We are going home now. For now, we are going home. Because right now, the nurses are not in yet. So if they are not in yet, what do I do?
Let's stay with this strike. My colleague Fauzi Masoud has been around some hospitals in the capital and joins me in studio to describe what he saw today. You're welcome to NewsFeed, Fauzi. Which hospitals did you visit today and describe the situation for us?
Thank you very much, Charles. So I visited the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, formerly Ridge Hospital, the Adabraka Polyclinic, and later the Kanishi Polyclinic. Evidently, the strike by the registered nurses and midwives is, it's having a dire impact on healthcare delivery in the country. For instance, when we went to Ridge Hospital, the public relations officer, that's Juliana Haruna, she admitted to the fact that the doctors who had to step in to play the role of the striking nurses are overwhelmed. The outpatients department, which is OPD, was virtually deserted for a place that you find over 50 or 60 persons occupying the place. When we got there, we saw just about 3 or 4 of them, and that is because some of them had been turned away, and some too couldn't wait, in the long queues. So you know that because the doctors are playing the role of the nurses, it wouldn't flow as ordinarily. Yeah. So some of them had to be turned away, some not necessarily turned away, but they had to go on their own accord. And then at the Adabraka Polyclinic, for instance, one patient told us that the doctor, even though he was attended to, but they did so without taking his vitals. So you know that the nurses will take your vitals and everything, and that even informs the type of administration as far as medicine is concerned to be given. But he said that the doctors did that without his vitals, and he was quite concerned about it.
We were told earlier that the ministry had instructed interns and rotational nurses to be on duty. Yes. Did you find any of them on duty?
So that's the question I asked at all places that I visited. For instance, I asked the PRO for the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. Even aside the interns, we know that there are some nursing and midwifery unions that are not necessarily on strike. So the Ghana Midwives Association, we have the Nurses Association, and I think even the Psychiatric Nurses Association, they are also not on strike. I asked the PRO for the Greater Accra Regional Hospital whether they are utilizing the presence of these persons to provide healthcare services, and she said every nurse and midwife that works at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital was on strike. So that means that they do not even have the luxury of exploring the opportunity of the nursing unions that are not on strike. Every nurse at all at the place is on strike. That's what the information we gathered.
Well, I think in response to the ministry's directive, the Rotational Nurses Association themselves urged their members not to adhere to that directive because these nurses have to work under some form of supervision.
Exactly. Yes.
Did you go to any other hospitals outside these?
No, so these are the 3 places that I went. We also made a stop, a quick one at the 37 Military Hospital. We know that, they operate within a different terrain. Right. So the healthcare workers over there are not striking. But close filming was prohibited due to protocols. But we gathered that because they are not striking and others were, they were recording more numbers. So if you go to, for instance, Greater Accra Regional Hospital or Adabraka Polyclinic, where
so 37 may be overwhelmed.
Yes, so they were overwhelmed because they were recording more numbers. Yes, so that's the situation at the 37 military hospital.
All right, thanks, Fauzi.